Hello, everyone, and welcome to the election crisis episode of Untier Talk, where we'll be focusing on less contentious issues like banning 80 Pokemon at once or whatever we did. Uh, got MZ in the chat as normal, and joining us, special guest this week, Avarice. Avarice?
Hello.
Good start.
Sorry.
No worry. Don't worry. This is gonna be a weird one. I have to have Discord open to do this, so all I've got is just scrolling alerts of different channels where people are talking election stuff. And I'm gonna try to tune it all out. It's not a good time right now.
It really isn't.
We had a tier shift. We got 12, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. We got 24 new things, and three things left. And then we banned 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Mons and Drizzle. That was fun. This is one of those things where just if you're following Pew at all, you've seen it, you're playing with it, you're messing with the new meta and stuff. So rather than recap, here's every single new Mon that dropped and what's its deal. I think it'd be better to just talk about anything you guys have used or experimented with so far that's been especially fun or interesting or worth mentioning.
Avarice, do you wanna have a start?
I think Chinchino and Rhyperior are like the two best drops.
Right on.
For new Mon. And then Jinx is also a pretty good contender for that. But those three really stick out to me since they're pretty hard to prep for. Outside of just slapping on a fat ground for water or whatever for right on. Or just an offensive check for Jinx.
Yeah, we were both pro ban on Jinx, and I really don't know what the thought is behind Aha, because Rhyme and Mime have been so easy to handle, so laughably bad in this meta. What if we also gave it the ability to sleep things? That would never be a problem.
Yeah, I also find Threat being pretty annoying.
Sorry, which one?
Sorry?
Like not being able to use like Scarf Golduck.
Oh, dry skin. Okay.
Prevent Caracosta with Aqua Jet.
Yeah, dry skin. Dry skin's a big part of it. To be honest, the reason why I didn't vote to ban Jinx was because of the
Oh, you didn't.
the fact we already have Rhyme and Gmime. So I was like, the extension to be able to check Jinx is pretty not much beyond what we're going to need to do those two anyway. So it's worth at least seeing if it has a spot in the meta. That being said, I'm very on the fence about it. Like Lovely Kiss, I think Sleep on its own is like a really crazy mechanic that you can just give the Pokemon. So I'm not firmly on the side of we should definitely keep this thing.
Yeah, what do you? So you run Ice Resist like Berserker or Spadef Rhyme, and then Jinx just sleeps it. So what? What is the plan there?
It's the thing. I personally wanted to see how it would stack up, because in theory, if you're running Kiss plus Stab plus I don't know, if you're trying to abuse the Nasty Plot or you're going Ice Beam Focus, either way you're not having either a huge cleaning advantage or you're not breaking as efficiently as you probably could. So in that place that I'd be like, Jinx is it has an opportunity at least to prove that it's not broken. That being said, I'm not convinced.
Yeah, it's just it also isn't exactly fond of Chinchino and Excelgor and Jolteon. Although like this, there are a good amount of faster things for a very frail Mon. Scarf Togue, I'm sure, is going to start popping off all that. So this, it's not that we don't have offensive measures. So maybe the tier will just end up that fast that Jinx isn't really a problem without running Blunder Policy. But I don't know.
Yeah. Definitely looks broken. I think the thing that I've been messing around with was Frostmoth. Is Frostmoth the evolution on Snom?
Yeah.
Am I getting that right? Yeah, because I used AV Snom, and that was fantastic, as we all know. Frostmoth is it feels similar to like a Jinx, but with Quiver, or like it's just like a worse Jinx with Quiver, if that makes any sense. The dual stab is kind of pointless because none of the ice types or none of the steel types you can get past with like Bug Buzz.
Yeah,
or something,
it hits Rhyme, but that's it.
Yeah.
Like Bug Buzz doesn't really do anything for you.
Yeah, so like most of the standard steel types that we have in the tier, like Togue has been huge. I've seen so much Togue recently. But Frostmoth, yeah, it's not as crazy that I thought it could be. So that's a positive, I guess. Having an offensive threat that's a cleaner. Heavy duty boots is really important on it. You can't really afford to run anything else. I would like to try and experiment with specs though. That would be really fun.
Yeah, I think that's kind of huge because its special attack is what 125. I think that's like.
Yeah, it's pretty strong.
That's what is that 20 more than Rhyme? Is it 25?
It's the second highest in the tier.
That's 15 more than Rhyme, which is already known for being mad strong. But like Rhyme can run specs and not be screwed. So
Yeah.
also second
Yeah,
highest. What has more special? What?
Glaceon.
Yeah.
Soda, I think.
Yeah, Glaceon and Cursula. Okay, that checks out. 130s. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, like if you can't run specs reasonable, like you can support specs on maybe a specific team, but if it can't be a general thing that you can always be guaranteed, oh, this will work, then how strong is
you
it?
have to build around it.
Yeah, it's not something that I was like I'm seriously considering. Oh, this is a massive threat to the tier. Although it could end up being that if the support it gets is good enough.
Yeah.
The thing is, it just doesn't get as good enough coverage. Like you have Ice Beam, which is what you click like 9 out of 10 times, and then you have Blizzard, which you click like 0.1 out of 100 times, just because I don't know, fuck it, I want to throw a game.
Everything else is Hurricane and Gleam, and like it doesn't hit Steel. So what I was looking at, I still haven't played with this, but I wanted to do more Boots utility. Its bulk is not great, but it does have Stun Spore and U-Turn, which could be
AV.
not AV, not AV with Stun Spore especially.
Yeah.
But Ice Beam, U-Turn, Roost, Stun Spore is something I really wanted to play with, and I just haven't had.
That sounds super cool. I'm not gonna lie, because stun sporing, there's surely something that can abuse a stun spore to steal. That's surely something.
It also has defog.
Interesting. Other things, to be honest, there's another thing that I've been. Let me try and find it here. Some other things that I was having fun with is Combuskin. To be honest, like that thing is a burden for offense to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a big burden for offense to deal with, just because offense can't afford fire resists in the first place. Like, what are fire resists? You can go Appleton, which doesn't enjoy Focus Blast from my experience, and Quillfish.
Yeah, still having Cramorant would be nice, but the thing about Combuskin is you don't really resist it. It's just as long as you're not weak to it, most things are capable of taking a hit. What I've seen, again, I really have not had the time to play at all, and election stuff and whatever, but from what I've seen, if you're not weak to Combuskin, it really needs to work its way up to getting enough chip damage to sweep. It doesn't... Yeah. It's less so, I have to kill one thing and beat everything else. It's more, I need everything at 50, and then I'm good. Also, we did get Altaria in the shift for fire resists.
Oh yeah, that's a good shot. I haven't seen any Altaria though, so I want to see more of that. That being said, with Combuskin specifically, I feel like it's both benefited and lost a lot since SM. Primarily because Combuskin in the past had hazards, and I feel like that was the single biggest thing that made Combuskin scary. In this gen, you have hazards, but the hazard's light in a sense, where heavy duty boots completely cancels out any hazard. So there's no. It's not like I can just keep bringing Combuskin, force you to take spikes, then you take the Fire Blast, and then I switch out. It's like, okay, Combuskin has to do all of that, like manipulation via a breaker, like a natural breaker, or just Fire Blasting things itself. So I feel like it really does well versus offense in this meta, but it really, really struggles versus balance. And I feel like that's the key, like, balancing aspect to it. Like, it might be a really important mod just because of that, to be honest, because we know in SS, offense is a really, like, really big thing. Yeah. Being able to put that pressure on is a thing as well.
I also want to throw in that the amount of mons that's still outspeeded at +1 is pretty problematic for Combuskin.
Yeah, but that's not really a huge thing. It's the equivalent of getting a breaker in and then clicking protect, and then you're at +2. So it's not huge. That's not a huge deal breaker for me, at least.
It doesn't help. It's more difficult to find the opportunities to just like get that +1 and start hitting buttons. It's like you said, if you can get one free hit off, then you're fine, because at +2 you can outrun them. But at +1. Still managing to lose to obviously the fast things like Excelgor and Jolteon or whatever, but also Alolan Dugtrio, Boltund, Modest Jolteon, even those kinds of things are pretty annoying.
I will also say, this is like a final thing, is that because you can't run the Z move on Combuskin anymore, people just go and like, fuck it, you violate. I've seen a couple of sub Buskins because of T-spikes and stuff with lefties, but majority have been you violate. Not really many people I've seen fucking with Life Orb. So it can actually tank a hit from a Jolteon and be it like, yo, I take 60-70 to get some damage on, and now I outspeed you. So yeah, that's another interesting aspect of that interaction.
Well, are you running Eviolite Chicken then?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, Eviolite's the easiest to use.
Okay, I don't know, that just sounds weak is all, but maybe that might just be what it needs to do.
Yeah, it has enough bulk to get up in SD on weaker things, at least.
I want to try SD, but it just seems so much worse. Like, the amount of more physically fat things we have where you're not going to beat, like, the Rhydon and the Sandaconda, or, like, how much you're going to take in just, like, Flare Blitz recoil.
It never actually wins a game, but it can punch holes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like one of those mid-game breakers. I feel like SD last gen really took advantage of Z Flare Blitz, because you could just click SD at ultra power and then be like, okay, well, this does a lot.
Z moves were highly fun and balanced. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we love Z moves.
So, like I said, I haven't played it. I'm looking forward a lot to using Excelgor, Frostmoth, Chinchino, and Jinx. I think I'm going to be busted. One thing I've seen pretty much no discussion of is Rotom Fan, which I don't think is going to be quite busted. But I really think as time goes on, it's gonna be, wow, this month's kind of crazy. I'm still really looking for Rotom Frost has a mad strong Blizzard, which is like 110 base power move, and Rotom Fan's stuck with just Air Slash and T-Bolt. So it doesn't quite hit the same levels of power, but it's still 105 special attack with Nasty Plot, and then like mad options outside of that. And the thing that scares me the most is if you play wrong and it is Nasty Plot versus it was just like Wisp defog stuff. That just seems kind of messed up, dude.
Yeah, it can be scary, but at the moment it kind of really struggles against all the Togedemaru and Rhydon.
There's so much Togedemaru and Rhydon right now, and I don't think we're going to see it pop off until people really start working out, here's what I'm going to do with it. Here's like my long-term game plan. Here's how I get to abuse stuff with my Rotom Fan. It's something that I'm waiting for a couple weeks to really do much.
Are we forecasted? This is just a random aside because this might impact Rotom's development. Is there any? Are we scheduled to have any more like Pokemon come into SS?
There's going to be a tier shift on the 15th, so that could totally change some stuff up. But in terms of like things that dropped, not from NU, but like brand new here in Tundra, we banned the ones that I really expect to leave. So I don't think we're going to lose much. We might get more that might mess with Rotom. But in terms of, like we banned Absol, Guzzlord, Magmortar, Mesprit, Zydog. Those are the things that I would think would leave. So unless NU is like, man, Cryogonal, ooh, that's a good mon. I don't think we're going to lose anything major.
Yeah, I was actually quite happy with how much we banned. Usually we're a bit more conservative with what we banned, but I'm glad people decided, nope, I don't want to deal with these crazy things. So I think it speeds up the development a bit more.
Yeah, we could probably hit that. I made a massive post about how we felt about all these things. Like, just read that. What is the tier gonna do? Lipard has like 70 attack and it's a really strong breaker. Let's introduce Absol, which has like 130 attack in close combat. Oh boy. Like the mons were just no question. Like let's just get rid of these things. The stuff we banned was all by margin of 7-0 or 6-1. It just wasn't even close. Like it's just dumb. Anything else that either of you want to hit?
I'm just having a look through the builder at the moment, but I think I need to go.
Caracosta might eventually be too much.
Yeah, the Caracosta and Rhydon, I think, are the two things to look at right now. Rhydon has 130 attack and Edgequake stab. Caracosta is just like, we don't have good smashers. We've had Crustle, so the fact that I've talked so much about all these like really fast, Jolteon, Bolton, whatever, and they all just drop to a +2 Aqua Jet, could be kind of dumb. Like I think people are really used to Caracosta from last gen, where it was like this constant balanced presence that just didn't do too much, never really popped up that insanely. I think people forget that we had to ban Caracosta in ORAS because the tier typically doesn't have that much for these kinds of smashers. That's pretty.
Yeah, Costa. I remember Costa in ORAS. That thing was ludicrous at a certain point. Like it was very hard to have a offensive threat that didn't die to +2 Aqua Jet, and I feel like it may return to that. It may, depends on how the tier adapts in that sense.
Mm-hmm. I'm also very excited to play with Calyrex. Not for it to do anything, because oh my god, this mon is awful, but it's still so funny.
For sure.
Jed, have you seen Calyrex?
No, I haven't. I haven't used it either.
Okay. Calyrex has base 100 HP, and all of its other stats are base 80. You might notice that is significantly worse than the Silvali's. Like,
I prefer 95 all round.
Is bad, and it doesn't get Nasty Plot either. It has Grass Psychic typing, which is notoriously bad, and its coverage is Draining Kiss and Pollen Puff. Nothing to actually hit a single steel outside of Ferroseed with Pollen Puff. It's unquestionably ZU, and I don't even think it'll be any good there. It's so bad. Like, typically in Mons, fusions have been like between two already mildly decent things that provide something. But Calyrex fusions are it goes on an amazing Pokemon and makes them better. And it itself is just garbage. It's mental how bad Calyrex is.
Interesting. I'm just trying to think of a way you can get past steel types now, just to prove you're wrong.
No, it just doesn't.
Yeah, okay, I found the way. That's it. I found it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Subseed with Grassy Terrain and Leaf Storm.
I don't think that's. I think Berserker just U-turns. I think Pharisee just knocks you off. I don't.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Okay, never mind. I forgot first this
let's.
thing. Okay, never mind. It's true. This one is
It,
bad.
it's so bad. There's literally nothing. Okay, let's talk Snake. This shouldn't be too long of a week to go through because week nines, like the last week of group stages never tends to be that insane, and you definitely had some games that are pretty much just throwaways here.
Yeah.
I should have linked you guys the replays. We can just go through in the order they're there, which starts with Zomog versus Vulpix03. This one, I don't know. Hey, Jed.
I mean, pretty standard teams for that meta.
Yeah, this is just kind of basic stuff, but nothing in the game also really stood out to me too much. Hey, Jed, do you have more to say, being the one that actually
So with Thingy's team, Zomog's team, we just sort of felt that it was a decent balance. That he wanted to use the Gorse quite a lot. I think it was at one point it was Kadabra, but I think he wanted the defensive advantage and speed that the Gorse has. I also told him to use Keyberry, which would have at one point won the game quite easily, but he decided to not do that and use the worst item, which is Life Orb. Rookie mistake happens. Zomog, I know you're 3-0. But yeah, now it's over. I can freely say that. That being said, I actually super liked Vulpix's team. I felt I was a bit slow at the time, and it was very dependent on Lurantis to do work versus us. But given that how our builds have been, like I don't disagree with that. Like Lurantis would probably have done something in most scenarios.
Yeah, I'm generally pretty fine with it. It was Scarf Hitmonchan is the speed control is a bit hairy, but still, like this is a game that he lost on a Leaf Storm dodge, so like that's not a huge.
Not technically. There was a lot of hacks that went back and forth, and I think without any hacks at all, Zomog would have won. But if there was a tiny bit of hacks, like at one point Vulpix would have won, but Zomog.
Wait, sorry. What else? What else happened? The only thing I remember is the Leaf Storm dodge not killing the alchemy that needed to die, and then I don't remember anything else being.
There was something that went on. There was some fucking.
There was like a hurricane dodge early on, I believe.
A hurricane dodge, maybe.
Like
yeah, there was. Yeah, there was some fuckery.
Okay, yeah, one early hurricane. I don't think it's super comparable, but I also don't think this was like the biggest rob. I just remember like, oh, kind of close late game situation, and it came down to Zomog still getting to have a living alchemy for like no reason. But
Chan dodged a poltergeist.
Yeah, like there were a couple things that if they hit, just like wouldn't have really mattered, and then there was just, a Leaf Storm dodge on not killing alchemy. Whatever. It do be like that sometimes, etc. He also might have
missed a play rough on the Lurantis.
Yeah, the Lurantis Rapdash thing was also really weird. I don't know why he didn't synthesis more and sort of let the Lurantis like just trade for the Rapidash. But maybe he was running out of PP. Never mind. In that case, I don't know why Zomog didn't Morning Sun and just keep his Rapdash, but I guess he didn't need to, because at that point all you have to do is the damage and then Jolteon cleans up anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. This might have been one of those things where like some weird bullshit happens, but it was entirely possible to, like, if you didn't have that bullshit happen, to play it differently and just win in a different way. Um, Either way, it was just kind of a normal thing that happened. Not a bad game. I just, eh.
I just think both teams look quite aesthetic, and I appreciate that.
That is true.
I don't know. This Berserker, I like Berserker, but it's never an aesthetic mon.
You don't like Berserk? I just think it offers like a nice.
I like Berserker.
Comparison to the rest.
I like Berserker. It's just ugly.
It complements pink really well, and like the blue and the grey also.
Well with Rune on preview.
With what on preview?
Yeah.
Rune.
Oh. I'm gonna have to agree to disagree. Obi versus Piff. This one I'm disappointed in. I gave Piff the team that I used versus Lockjaw in Room Tour playoffs. The one with the one with the one with the Cursula, the meteor beam.
Wait, you gave him Stall?
No. I gave him the team I used versus Lockjaw with Meteor Beam Cursula, and then Piff was like, "No, I just really want to use Stall at the last minute," and just brought a Stall that I don't like this Stall team at all. But Obi, it was last week. He wanted to have fun with Trick Room, and apparently he thought this team had a good Stall matchup. He said, which I guess he just really got that wrong. I don't know why Obi's team would ever be breaking Corsola plus Puku plus like a couple of the things.
I can see maybe what he's talking about, but the thing is with Stall in this matter is that it's not like a thing which we know what it is. Like last gen, we knew Stall was Carbink plus Puku / Quag plus Ordino plus, like, you knew exactly what the 6 Stall ones were.
Yeah, there are different ways to go with Stall now.
Yeah, like this team has a Clang and Kling meta, because Clang is that much more SPDF.
Exactly. So it's a question of how much, like, what Stall are you going to play, and I guess because he has loads of offensive pressure, he thought, okay, well, versus fat things, I should be okay. But
like
obviously,
normally, Rest Talk Apple is going to be really annoying for a fat team, but
100%. Rest Talk Apple is a bitch.
Yeah, what he needed really was taunt grab locked instead of. Without having revealed the last move, what I would assume to be sub, or maybe he did like way at the end.
I think it was
Yeah, it was sucker punch. Yeah, it was brutal and sucker. Yeah, he needed taunt, or even no. I think sub would have still lost to Pikamuku. Basically, like that needed taunt to kind of break this, and like it's a fun Trick Room team. I'm like, yeah, mess with Trick Room, that's cool. But yeah, it just wasn't going to break Stall, and that was pretty much it. So, Piff got his win.
Yeah.
Every Bushmasters had 3 different people playing PU. All of them got exactly 1 win. So, fun fact. I don't know where I'm going with that. But I don't really have anything else to say. It's cool. Yeah. Ham versus Tlenet. Tlenet used a Randpoke team, I guess because his team was already out. I hadn't realized.
Wait, that team's a Randpoke team?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's legit as fuck.
Yeah, it's just a Randpoke team, and it just lost to Ham using like a serious thing, which, yeah, I have no problems with Ham's team, really. It's
also pretty normal.
Yeah.
Besides the Whirlpool King, I guess. That kind of sticks out. For
Tlenet, it's pretty normal. The Whirlpool Trapper King. For Tlenet, I don't even blink. Like, yep, that's what he do.
Yeah, I think 100% with. I like Ham's strategy to deal with Tlenet stuff. And Tlenet's team looks way too legit to be Randpoke team. So nowadays, I never really.
It's still a weird team. Like the Licky just doesn't make sense there.
Because it's like Driftblim and then 4 things that die to a fighting move.
Yeah, the team had problems, and Ham just was able to do pretty simple stuff. I will say the one thing that stuck out to me about Ham's team is that the Whirlpool Kanga is also the only Cramorant switch in. That one I thought was pretty, because like Cram has been big until it left in this tier shift. Cram being big, and a lot of times people are still just walling it with
Did we get
Kanga.
to find out the Jolteon set?
Walling it with Kanga. Yeah, I'm sure it was Fat Kang. I mean, it's just very interesting to me to see that Fat Kanga keeps needing to be the Cram switching because our flying resists are entirely contingent on them being physical. But yeah, Trapper Kang presumably to trap Runerigus and then go to town with Life Orb Hitmonchan. I think it's cool.
Yeah. I rate the strategy.
Yeah, but Solana like just didn't have the ability to put up much of a fight.
Yeah, it wasn't winnable.
Yeah. That being said, I do like the idea, especially because like you have the scary like back threat, which is I assume it's Iron Defense Body Pressure in Rodriguez. That's pretty cool as well. I didn't realize that.
Yeah. He really likes that set for good reason.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Going to Katut TJ, I really, when I looked at this, I went, oh, Katut's team is already out too. But they weren't, and I honestly can't tell if this is a serious team or not. Because even for Katut, this one doesn't... I don't know. I seriously looked at his team and went, oh, Katut's just bringing memes because he's out. But he wasn't. I don't know what to think. Am I totally off base here? It's got Night Slash on Pheasant and Dream Eater Lilligant and no Fire Resist and...
I guess I mean, Night Slash hits Rune for some chip, I guess. I don't know, you would just U-turn into Lilligant or Glaceon anyway.
Yeah.
I don't really understand the team here. I mean, it got like shredded by the workup Poison Valley.
Well, that sucked because turn like 3, he got crit O-code by it, and then it proceeded to get the roll on the Stunfisk too. And like Katut genuinely still might have been in this game, if he hadn't gotten lucked like that early on, just because TJ's team had no ice resist and was super weak to ice.
Yeah, I mean that's what makes, like when we prepped for TJ earlier, like strong ice type is generally a good pick versus him, but still I don't know if I would at the same time go with no fire resist. I mean, obviously it worked out here, but I mean he also said he would, or Keita said he was Dream Eater Lilligant, so
yeah, I don't. The team has no speed control at all, unless it was Scarf on Pheasant, which you have to assume it's not because he didn't go it on Jolteon when that would have been the thing to do. Like, I really just didn't think this was a serious team. I was like, oh, it's last week. You're already out. Fair enough. I don't know.
This game was basically contingent on Katut forcing in Rune, Appleton, and forcing them in over and over again, and then hitting them bad with the ice thing, the Glaceon.
Yeah, and whether he would have won, I don't know, but that was definitely not going to happen after like the early just unfortunate shit. Like TJ wasn't anywhere near a guaranteed loss, but after that it was like, okay, Katut's just kind of screwed.
Yeah.
I also do like that TJ finally brought a copycat Jolteon setup. Someone needed to do it.
I think it was like TJ's using Tap's team, I think, right?
It's a Tap gimmick, but I don't think it's a Tap team. Tap had been helping TJ earlier, and I'm pretty sure he specifically stopped doing that.
Well, at least I thought that's what Trick said.
Yeah, it's a cool idea with the eject pack Appleton and copycat Jolteon. So I wouldn't put it past Tap if it was Tap, but yeah, it's pretty cool regardless.
Yeah, I mean that was the thing Tap came up with initially. I just don't. If he made this one, I don't think it was recently. Yeah. Regardless, I don't know what to think about Katut's team, and that just kind of seemed like the.
It looks very Oras. Is it Oras that every team looked like that? Oras Grass NU maybe.
I don't know.
I'm not entirely sure how this goes. Yeah, it reminds me of a tier from somewhere.
Yeah,
Either way,
I don't know.
It's a serious game like that.
Yeah, this wasn't a super serious game. And then the final one, we have Ziri versus Kink, which
Tenet managed to build with Ziri one last time.
yeah, Ziri brought the Telenet team that he'd already used twice. I don't know. This how do I phrase it? This kind of exemplifies my issues with the team. I just
right. What were your issues with the team then? Because I actually liked the team a bunch when Tenet used it, but
yeah, I want to. Because here's the thing: people get on me for saying certain things that they're not. Like when I say things and it's my analysis, they're just not happy with what I've said, and I have to be careful about that. My opinions are not always things that people enjoy. I guess I don't feel like Kink significantly outplayed Ziri at any point. There were never any like mind blowing predictions or anything. He just had very basic tools of I've got like some Lightbird and some Berserker and some Unpheasant, and I just kind of have to hit the buttons. And Ziri needed to play really reactive because without any of Ziri's sweepers being able to pop off, without Lurantis or Runarigas, there just wasn't much for him to do. Like I feel like Ziri hasn't really lost a close game. I feel like Ziri's either like had solid, maybe close wins, or when it's been a loss, it's been like, damn, that was just a clear miss. And
Yeah,
this just felt like Kink would have had to fuck something up to lose. Yeah, I think that's safe.
I don't hate the team Ziri's using. It's just really slow, and then I don't know. I don't think the Mons are threatening enough to warrant it.
Yeah, I don't know what else Ziri would have done. That's the thing. Like King, like I said, King. There isn't really a point. Wow, that was a great double or something. Really putting on the pressure there. He just had very basic tools that fucked with Ziri.
Yeah, I think to be honest, Ziri's game plan depended on him doing a bunch with Lurantis. Because if you can't trap it, if you can't trap the rune via Kanga, then your immediate second option.
This Kanga's not trapper.
Go into Lurantis. It is. Oh yeah, it isn't. What the fuck? Well, fine then. If it's rest and you the toxic doesn't end up working out, then you have to use Lurantis as that like way to pry open that core. But like I feel like didn't Ziri chuck it away quite? You just still chucked it away early game.
Died.
Yeah.
I needed to use it a lot more.
So yeah, that was the big thing for me because neither Berserker nor Unpheasant are that capable of being Lurantis switches. Like you wouldn't think of them. Oh shit, this is a Lurantis switch, right? And either way, he has checks to both of those mons, even when Lurantis, even when Lurantis gets checked by either of them. So it's not like he was in a position where oh shit, I had to do this. So yeah, that was definitely what he should. In my opinion, that's what he should have been doing.
Yeah, it's the way that Lurantis is really double edged. We saw Telenet with this team beat a fairly similar team that Piff used in like 9 turns just by hitting the Lurantis buttons and Piff just dying. And when that versus a team with Unpheasant and Berserker as the checks, Unpheasant and Choice Band Berserker, literally same exact shit. Literally same exact shit. But when your
Yeah,
opponent is like carefully, that's the thing King did do well, managed what Lurantis could do.
yeah, he
I
he
don't
let them
think I
double
don't
him.
think Zeri played Lurantis that crazy either. Like you definitely should have tried more. Lurantis never even hit an attack this whole game. So don't get me wrong, that should have happened from Zeri. But when your opponent manages that outcome, this team loses a lot of potential, a
Yeah,
lot of ability to do damage without Lurantis being devastating just by existing.
yeah.
It needs
King,
that to happen, and it didn't. So Zeri just kind of lost.
yeah, King did well to maneuver around it. You saying that about the Piff matchup actually is actually a great comparison to how King played it, because King for most of the early game there wasn't really an opportunity for Lorantis to come in because usually it was Unpleasant or Berserker or Lipard in. So he made sure as soon as he got down hazards that he was prepared to double at any given moment on the Lorantis, and he got one double right, didn't he? He got the Lipard in, I think,
Mhm.
versus the Lorantis, or it was the Per or something. So
I think it was
yeah, he did.
Berserker at like one. Yeah, it was one single Berserker double. It was
Yeah,
Kanga versus Runerigus, and he doubles Berserker, which is also a very safe double on a Kangaskhan that you know is Body Slam Toxic Wish Tech. Like
yeah. This is where
that's barely a
Yeah.
risk.
yeah.
Um,
I mean, it's not like a crazy double or anything, but it's a good double to make because it basically got 50% damage on that Lorantis for him, which is huge in the scheme that Lorantis is a huge threat to King's team. He just managed to put 50% on it before it's even clicked the button.
mhm. And
Yeah, there's also
the
the
way
only
that
thing
Zeri,
stopping.
sorry, you go ahead.
Yeah, it's the only thing stopping Rune from like just winning with rest, since Quill was going to be worn down pretty easily, since Ken can't safely pass wishes with Perkster around.
Hmm. And I was gonna say Avalug also was. Okay, yeah, there were actually two Berserker doubles. One was early game versus Kang. One was later versus Avalug, which was clearly not staying in. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think Kink did any. Not neither Berserker doubles like whoa, he massive like that was just the good play, and it was a bit of a prediction, but it was not like insane. And I think Avalug really did Zeri no favors because not only was it not removing with the Runerigus around, forcing Lurantis to try to like do that and waste its time getting in and all that, but it also did not ever want to be the Lipard switch in because as soon as you lose boosts, you're just so neutered. And Kangaskhan kept being the Lipard switch in, and that just did not work well in the long term. And Zeri had 100% Avalug and still sacked Flareon to Lipard. Um, because that's what you got to do. And then goes Lurantis, defogs on Lipard, gets knocked off and 2KO'd. Like it's just not a strong situation to be in. So I think this was a
There's
risky one. I said I thought Katat's team might have been a joke team, and I disparaged Lennett's team. Hopefully, I'm still within the margins of acceptability. Uh, but yeah, I thought this was a really interesting game. Definitely like the one to
Yeah,
look at for the week.
yeah, 100%. I think King played it incredibly well, so good good job to him.
All right, with that, we're into Snake playoffs. We can briefly hit the records so far and talk about people who've been eliminated. So if you guys go to the Snake sheet and tiers, yeah. So ending the group stages. We have Obi at 6-3, Katut at 5-2, and TJ and Ziri both at 5-4 for the top records. Um, Obi, I really feel like every time I was still predicting against Obi, I was like, he's not, he's had a good record, but individually these games aren't. And I still do feel that way. Um, but overall, taking totality, this was a really strong record. He was consistently running into strong opponents and doing pretty well. I think the week 9 loss is also a bit of a write off where he just wanted to mess with funny trick room. Yeah, really strong record from him. Really good showcase. Katat as well with the 5-2 in the Silly Week 9. Coming out very strong. TJ and Ziri going pretty much even. Like, solid performances from them. I think they were just a both hit or miss. But they both actually...
Both of them are in playoffs, by the way. TJ
yeah, I was going to say,
so
they both have the chance to keep going in playoffs, which we'll get to predictions in a sec. But yeah, for both players, it felt like they were either on or they were off, and when they were off, they like just dropped, and their wins were good and their losses were bad, like very double edged there. Kink.
Yeah,
no, go ahead. Sorry.
With both, I think I'm speaking entirely from a manager perspective here, but you can have a below standard record. Let's say Ziri was quite I don't think actually Ziri went quite late in the auction, but if you have a player, for example, and they go, let's say even or just above even, and they let's say flop in playoffs, the manager would much prefer a player who goes neg during the season and then turns up the playoffs massively and gets 2 wins in the semi and the final. So, assuming you get there, of course, I think there will be more pressure now on these games, so we'll see how they react to that.
Kink also in playoffs. Started out 0-2 looking really bad and turned it around for a 4-2 record, surprisingly enough.
Wait, Kink went 4-2?
Well, remember, he did crit Ham in a game he played really badly in and would have lost.
Okay.
But yeah, but then he ended up with bizarre wins versus Tlenet and Ziri in the last couple of weeks here that still in no way make me go like, wow, Kink really, like, Kink got a fine win versus Ziri, but I'm not going to be like super impressive, knocked out of the park there. Just overall, again, like, the wins that he got 3 pretty solid straight up wins. I think like the Tlenet game, same. And then, yeah, critting Ham really bolstered that to swap from 3-3 up to 4-2, I think just makes it look a lot nicer.
Yeah, you're right. That's a very aesthetic. That's a nice aesthetic to paint them.
You've got Tlenet going 4-5. Not the showcase he wanted. I think it just took him a while to get his bearings. The early losses to Cappy, Ziri, and Gatut, all before week 5, were just pretty rough. And then after that, he did a lot better.
And he should have won versus Cappy.
Yeah, he did get screwed week 1 versus Cappy, so he should have been positive. But still, like a pretty even mixed bag record there. Zamog going 3-0 to step in after Kepi's poor start at the end for you guys.
Yeah, well, beast.
I didn't expect it, but it was impressive.
I didn't expect it. Again, weird because you have Ham timing out in a game that he was very up in, just timed out. So, but whatever. Vulpix 03, after Rosie's rough start, stepped in for the Radlers and went 3-3 pretty solidly. Like, looked pretty good. I don't know. Avarice, you weren't helping Vulpix, were you?
No, I was helping Obi.
Yeah, Obi, okay.
I was on the Vulpix team chat, but ultimately Tony was making most of the teams.
Tony, interesting. Okay. Because, yeah, I think Vulpix has been pretty fine. Like, the 3-3's been fine, and now he's got a chance in playoffs to keep going. Like, I'm pretty interested to see what happens there.
Cool.
Ham going 3-5, just too many kind of rough weeks, and the timeout to Zamog really sucked for that as well. Like, I liked what him and ZS were coming up with, just never really went too far. Kepi 2-4, we've talked a lot about their struggles early, and they ended up getting subbed out for Zamog late. Let's see who else is on here. Ifo went 1-1 before Katut stepped in. You've got all the Bushmasters players. Santu went 1-0. Soulgazer went 1-3. Piff went 1-3. Bushmasters just... Just both Soulgazer and Piff were just not comfortable in this meta, I think, pretty clearly. Like, they had some really rough plays in some games. There were also some bad teams that I'm definitely partially accountable for with helping them. This was just not their meta. False going... No, Skipcan going 0-1 with his one game, and then False going 0-3 also just kind of didn't look like this was his meta in any way.
False needs me, bro. You need me. I love False, man.
But yeah, overall, this was like a cool, pretty close, well-rounded up Snake. I was surprised with how many people ended up getting into helping team chats and stuff. Like every week, it was like, you know, ZS worked on this team, and 2X worked on this team, and Avarice worked on this team, and I worked on and that was pretty fun.
It's good. I like that.
I like looking
I like
back
that
on this.
people take the initiative and like try and make a name for themselves. I'm very happy people like Specs got actually drafted as well, because there's a big difference between being on the sidelines and they're saying, "Oh, can you please help us with this team?" and being, "Yeah, we drafted you. We expect you to help with this team." You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Anything else to hit here? I think.
Not much.
Yeah.
Playoffs?
Yeah, that was everyone. Okay, playoffs. We've got TJ versus Kink and Vulpix versus Ziri, and like pretty much everyone has the basic predictions that they're going in with. Yeah, like.
Yeah, TJ and what's it? TJ and Ziri are the favorites here, aren't they?
Absolutely, yeah. Their records aren't that much better, but they've been the mains with the name recognition. They have done better in this tour, and they've like when they've had their wins, they have been more impressive wins, I think. They've had more volatile losses. They in fact both have more losses than Kink or Vulpix. Vulpix is 3-3, Kink is 4-2, and they're both 5-4. They've taken more and worse losses. So I really think both of their opponents do have reasonable chances. But if TJ and Ziri come in with the solid team and show up and make their mark, then I would definitely favor. I would definitely favor their performance.
This is still old meta, isn't it? With all the
yeah.
So
that's going to be
how much motivation there is to actually test teams and stuff.
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of people will have chalked this meta. So the only people really that are going to be playing are the opponents. So I think that will come into Ziri's favor a little bit, because at least he has Specs who has some commitment to playing this meta. And TJ as well, because he'll have some friends that play. But apart from that, I think that pretty much further swings it in both of their favors. To be honest, I'm finding it like 65-35 in the favor of the favorite is my shout, to be honest. Just given how it is for both of them. Yeah, the meta's dead though, so.
I'm sorry, Avarice, what was that?
I really want Specs.
Let him talk, Jesus.
Okay.
I was agreeing that I think TJ and Ziri seem favored here. Between those two, I think I see Vulpix winning over Ziri, if anything, between those two games. Because I feel like TJ's general playstyle tends to do better against Kink, who favors balance.
Kink has entirely done like very basic balance, or like full on cheese teams like a Rain or whatever, which is not necessarily bad. I don't have a better way to refer to it than cheese teams. That's not meant to be a negative thing. It's just like it's only been those. It's been absolute meme or just basic balance. So I do agree with that.
I really want to see Specs with a trophy. That would just be hilarious.
Hell yeah, dude. Nice little green thing on the banner.
I'd make fun of him every day. It'd be hilarious.
All right, I know it's already been 54 minutes ish, and we've hit the main tour. I think we should briefly mention that, hey, PU World Cup that started. It looks fun. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
I decided I didn't want to do a whole power rankings thing when there's already all this other stuff to cover, and there's actually like manager voted on power rankings that will be coming out. But if you guys have anything you want to say about PU World Cup or anything, uh, there is definitely a lot to talk about. It's just. The logos are sick though.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
how everyone was able to pick a logo.
Almost everyone. Have you seen Brazil and Latin America?
Wait. Wait,
Here,
I haven't seen that.
here,
No, no. Because they had a really good World Cup one, so I assumed they'd
let
use
me
the same
link you
one.
the post. No, it's not the same one.
I believe HS drew that himself.
Jad, you don't even know like any in-game lore or anything, so that just doesn't even make sense to you, does it?
Wait, I don't get it.
It's Calyrex, like its thing is that it like rides the when it changes form, it's because it like fuses and it rides on Spectrier or Glastrier, and it uses reins to like control them, and it's doing that with a soccer Ludico. I don't know.
Yeah, it's actually kind of funny though. I rate that.
No, I really like it. I like how we have all these great episodes, but then this one like really creative, just MS Paint thing. France is also just absolutely top tier. Uh, yeah, it looks fun. I'm pretty excited. We've got a lot of very strong teams. I think all of Brazil and Latin America, UK, Canada, Northeast. Yeah, so like pretty much every team going down looks quite strong, with the exception of the few teams that are definitely more on the unknown side. There's still India, there's Asia, Africa, Australia. But aside from that, oh, and Germany. Aside from that, pretty much every team looks like they can be an absolute serious contender depending on how group stages go, including teams that I didn't expect to look so strong, like Europe and West. I wasn't sure was gonna, but yeah, teams are overall. I think this is gonna be a surprisingly powerful group stages as opposed to just here are the best teams that are probably making it out. I really don't know who's gonna make it out of either pool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a couple bets. I realized when I was doing the manager rankings that I'm a massive simp for Northeastern Canada. Like their just entire team
Mhm.
is super strong.
Yeah, they're
So
really
I was like,
stacked.
yeah. I think they're probably favorites if I had to put one besides the UK because I'm biased to the UK.
Yeah,
So,
I agree. Um, man, like the whole like Group A though, who's gonna make it out of like even if you say okay, I don't think India and Brazil and Latin America are making it out. You got to pick two of UK, Northeast Canada, West, and Midwest, and then same from Group B with South Italy, Europe, and France. Try to pick two out of those. I really am looking forward to it. I hope I actually get any time to play Pokemon whatsoever because this is gonna be fun.
oh, you're playing in the easy meta though. You've built for this meta 10 times to bring
I
the
don't
last
have
10 teams that you in your builder.
Yeah, no, but like the rest of my team also has. I need to help with SSPU.
Oh
The
right, wait,
meta that
Avarice would be
changes
pissed with you if you
5 seconds.
Avar would be majorly pissed if you just said, "Yeah, this is the team I'm bringing this week, guys. By the way, have fun with building for SS."
Yeah, I'm supposed to be like the tier leader or something. I don't really understand it. Apparently, it's important, but who knows?
I see.
Okay. I don't have anything. Do you have anything else?
No,
Not
I think
really.
that's it for Pokemon stuff.
Yeah, yeah. That's it for Pokemon stuff. But I think I still need a little bit more of a distraction before going back to looking at election results. So let's do some gimmick corner.
Sweet.
Uh,
Yeah.
Avarice, you don't have to because we just kind of throw this at you. But is there anything that you would like to give a shout?
Uh, I. What do you mean?
For gimmick corner, anything that you are like, hey, this is a funny thing I use.
Oh, probably Rest Alchemy. or like Endure Ursula.
Hell yeah, Endure Ursula. I'm so mad that
Yo,
team
I
is
actually
super
saw a lot of
outdated now.
I saw a lot of people simping for Endure Cursor, so
I don't
it's
know.
making the main stage.
I don't know what happened. I can't. I genuinely can't tell if it was me using it and then people just started building it, or if this was something that like people had built around some private chat and then just sort of started spilling out. I'm really not sure where it came from, but a lot of people are talking about Cursula. A lot of people are saying this, folks, in the Discord. Um,
I think it's you, bro. I think that's the only thing that makes sense in my head, at least. So we'll give you the credit.
okay, sure. Yeah, Cursula is hot. Very hot.
Hot AF.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, it's really fun when it works.
It's a shame that this Chinchino now, which is faster than you at +2 and is another Shadow Ball immunity, but otherwise it hasn't really gotten any new checks, so it's probably still dope. Oh, I guess no. Even Scarf Togue is actually pretty bad versus it. Okay, maybe I should just keep using Cursula. Fuck making new things.
Yeah, Burning Jealousy does a good amount to Doge anyway.
Oh, Burning Jealousy does a lot, but it also it's a Scarfer that doesn't really have non weak armor triggering moves, so that's a big plus.
So, is it my turn?
I think I'm supposed to do something, but like I said, I literally haven't played anything at all. I guess that Frostmoth set that I talked about that I wanted to use but haven't, like Stun Spore U-turn stuff. Let's go with that.
Okay, cool. So my set is Subseed, Grassy Terrain, and Leaf Storm Calumet.
God damn it.
No, actually, there's another thing. Where is it?
How would we know?
Well, I'm looking for it.
I know, it's rhetorical.
Thing is, okay. I can't find it. That's okay.
How can you not find? But you know what set you want to talk about?
Yeah, I had it in a paste bin in one of the chats. One was definitely Armaldo, like a choice banded spin Armaldo. I guess I can talk about that for a little bit because Armaldo usually sucks, but now it doesn't because in a meta where everything is kind of weak, you have a lot of utility. Plus, it's probably our strongest spinner, like just straight out of the box. So yeah, but that's not the thing that I wanted though.
Armaldo seems awful. What? No.
It seems decent. I don't know how much I trust non-boots, but having knock and spin.
What is it gonna do to Sandaconda or Rhydon?
It has Aquatail.
Yeah, just hit him with the Aquatail.
Can you fit that? Like if you were trying to run spin knock edge Aquatail, I guess maybe that kind of seems ass, but
spin knock edge Aquatail, isn't that? Yeah, that works. That wasn't the set though. Interesting. I think I'm going to have to draw. I have no idea what. I'll let you know if I find out what it is, but I guess that's the set for. That's interesting. Okay, apparently I just made up a set in my brain.
Okay, sure, whatever.
That's it.
All right, that's how we're ending this. Thanks for showing up, guys. Thanks for coming on, Avarice. Yeah, we'll just end with not even knowing what we're talking about. Actually, that's exactly the same how we started. Never mind. Okay, bye.